I would like to talk about how actors learn to believe. Do you ever wonder what it takes to strengthen your ability to believe as an actor? In this video, I will discuss 8 important tips that will help you transform your ability to believe as an actor. Belief is the invisible foundation of truthful acting. Audiences don't respond to clever technique. They respond to the truth. When an actor believes, we believe. When an actor doubts, we feel it instantly. But belief in acting isn't about fooling yourself or pretending harder. It is a practical skill that you can train, just like breath or muscle control. Here's how to cultivate real belief in your work, consistently, responsibly, and reliably. Tip number 1. Belief isn't about convincing, it's committing. Many actors chase belief by trying to feel something intensely. I'll tell you this right now, and believe me, whenever you chase a result with any sense of pressure, it always backfires. Building a belief system is a process, not a result. It starts with your commitment to the given circumstances of the character. If you commit to what's happening, where you are, who you're with, what you need, the quote-unquote result of feeling something happens automatically. Think of belief as your agreement to existing within an imaginary structure. You agreed to the rules of the scene the same way you agreed to the rules in a game. In chess, for example, you don't question why the bishop moves diagonally. You accept it and commit. Belief in acting works the same exact way. So every time you enter rehearsal or you enter the scene, remind yourself, in this circumstance, these are the rules and I accept them. Tip number 2, ground yourself in the details. Being vague is the enemy of belief. The more specific you are in your creative process, the less room your brain has to doubt. For example, instead of saying, I'm sad in this scene, say, I just found out I won't see this person ever again, and I'm doing everything in my power to stay strong. Another example, instead of saying, I'm angry in this scene, instead say, I'm angry because you broke your promise to me, and I'm trying to get you to take responsibility. Specifics stimulate and anchor your imagination. They turn abstract ideas into something that comes alive. Here are some things to think about for your practicing. For every scene, answer the following questions. What are the given circumstances? Or what is the event that's happening in this scene? What just happened before the scene started? What do I want right now from this person? And what are the consequences if I don't get it? These questions force us to put together the specifics and to find more details within the structure of the scene to motivate us and build a strong foundation of belief. Detailed questions help give the actor the why to what they're doing in the scene in the first place. Tip number 3, prioritize actions, not feelings. Belief grows when you focus on doing something, not what you think you're supposed to feel as the character. Feelings are always elusive and fluid. Actions are reliable. So instead of, for example, trying to be heartbroken, try to transform that into, what do I want to do? So some possible answers to that question of what do I want to do in this scene might be to persuade, to protect, to accuse, to comfort, to seduce, to impress. When you fully commit to an action, your body and your voice respond naturally. And the emotion flows organically because your actions give it a reason to exist. Here's a very important active verb phrase rule. If you can put the word to in front of it, then it is a healthy, playable action. For example, to convince, to challenge, or to soothe. Tip number 4. Imagination is a muscle. Strengthening your belief as an actor is about training your imagination. Actors who believe are vividly imagining the life of the drama through their character's eyes. You can strengthen your imagination muscle by practicing picturing imaginary environments in detail, incorporating sensory elements such as temperature, smells, objects, and textures. Practice recreating imaginary objects sensorially, imagining them with weight, temperature, texture, and resistance. Try this. Rehearse scenes silently, exploring your impulses and your actions without the lines. Here's a very powerful exercise that just is about recreating an imaginary place. Imagine a significant place from your past. Return to this place using only your imagination and your 5 senses. No props and no furniture. Try to slow down your mind and be patient. Try not to chase the results, but allow the sensations to come through in their own space and their own time, and be open to surprise. Notice that when you feel an emotion, it always follows a specific sensory experience, not the other way around. And while you explore this exercise, keep this in mind. This is a perfect example of how the audience only experiences what the actor is authentically experiencing. This type of exercise reminds us that as actors, we don't need to quote unquote show the audience anything. Tip number 5. Don't forget about your fellow actors. Nothing kills your belief system faster than feeling like you're in a one-person show when there are other actors on the stage with you. Belief thrives in your ability to take in the other actors and listen. When you truly start listening, you stop judging your performance and you start living. The scene becomes something that is happening to you, not something that you're presenting. Here's something you can ask yourself. Instead of asking yourself, am I believable? Immerse yourself in the circumstance and ask yourself, what is the other character saying and doing to me right now? Listening and reacting truthfully keeps you involved in the imaginary circumstances, and it requires much less effort than self-directing. Tip number 6, accept your fear. Doubt shows up for all actors at all levels of experience. Fear is not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you care. And belief doesn't mean that fear disappears. What it actually means is, in spite of the fear, you act anyway. When nerves appear, which most of the time they will, because think about it, as a character in a drama, you are in a heightened reality. So when nerves appear, understand that it makes sense that you feel nervous. They're just a form of energy. And if you reframe it as just a form of energy, it can liberate you as opposed to paralyze you. Remember, your body is preparing to engage in this heightened reality. Let the sensations exist without labeling them as something that's bad. Dustin Hoffman is one of the great actors of our time who has always been very candid about his own personal experiences with doubt and fear as an actor. For his Oscar-winning performance as Raymond Babbitt in Rain Man, Hoffman described his deep sense of self-doubt while preparing to do a climactic scene that he was getting ready to shoot. He knew it was supposed to be this climactic and emotional scene, and Hoffman describes how he allowed himself to use his doubt and fear about being a terrible actor. He embraced those vulnerable feelings and gave them to the character completely. And the final result was a profoundly human and emotional and touching scene. Tip number 7, repetition builds trust. Belief deepens with repetition, not mechanical repetition, like repetition for repetition's sake, but organic and curious repetition. That's why we rehearse. Each rehearsal is an opportunity to listen more closely, respond more honestly, clarify your choices, and learn more about the scene and more about your character. In fact, that doesn't end with the rehearsal process. It continues in performance. You're always in pursuit of learning something new about your character, about the scene, about the circumstances. It never ends. And over time, your body and your imagination learn. I can live in this moment completely and safely and artfully. And that trust in what you're doing as an artist builds belief. Tip number 8, keep it about the character. One of the biggest barriers to belief is self-judgment. When your personal identity is tied to the outcome of the scene, whether it's good or bad, your mind, your concentration stays outside of yourself, keeping you self-conscious and self-critical. Strong actors protect the following boundaries. This is not about me, it's about the character. It's the character that lives in the circumstances and takes the risks, and the actor observes and makes adjustments later, after the scene. And then after the scene, you reflect and digest the notes that you're getting from your director with kindness, self-kindness. But during the scene, you stay inside of it. So, in conclusion, belief is permission. Believing as an actor is ultimately an act of permission. Permission to take the scene seriously, to be affected, to be deeply involved, to respond honestly, and to follow through. You don't need to push for belief. Belief is born out of a process. You create the conditions for it. You create the conditions for it with a clear sense of the circumstances, specific and creative actions, active listening, and disciplined, immersive imagination. Do that, and your belief system will grow and it will thrive. And when it does, the audience won't think, oh, that was really good, skillful acting. They'll think that performance felt so moving and so real. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Click on the description below for links to our website and to learn more about the new Collective Acting Studio and our private coaching membership. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.